Hello! So, for several years when I was younger, I did gymnastics, but for a couple of years, I decided that I was going to do dance lessons instead. And those of you who have taken dance lessons know that there's this huge mirror at the front of the classroom. And when we would practice or learn new routines, I always watched my teacher's reflection in the mirror, and she would constantly nudge me to watch myself instead. Now, aside from the fact that I really was the least coordinated person when it comes to dance, I struggled to watch myself in the mirror. And not because of anything that you might be thinking. It's not because I thought I looked silly or was embarrassed by looking at myself, but because I thought that in order to perfect my routine, I needed to watch the teacher instead. In hindsight, though, I realized that the mirror allowed me to step outside myself, to step outside what felt right and be able to see what is actually true. It was quite literally a point of reflection. And this is what I want to share with you all today. Reflection is a word that has come up often in these Friday Food for Thought videos and really in the world of personal development in general. But I think that sometimes we take that word for granted. We assume that everyone knows what it means to reflect, but also how to reflect and why it's even important to reflect in the first place. But in reality, that's just not the case. In fact, I used to work at a school where reflection was one of the three core values, but if I'm being honest, it seemed to be more for show than actually embodied in the work that we did. And I think the reason why we weren't able to fully embody it was because of the assumptions that I mentioned, that I previously mentioned. So, of course, I started with the definition of the word itself. Reflection. Serious thought or consideration. And the first word in this definition is where I think so many get off track. Reflection is not a willy-nilly action that you squeeze in free moments or a minute here or there. It is serious thought or consideration. It's not only considering our own values, beliefs, and opinions, but also those around us in contrast to our own. It's being aware of the assumptions underlying our beliefs, opinions, and values. It's challenging ourselves to debunk those assumptions in an effort to either grow in a new direction or grow stronger in who we are. Not because society says or because someone else says, because we've done the work for ourselves to know so. And reflection is important because when we know better, we do better. And I would even take that saying a step further to say when we do better, we are better. So, how do we reflect? Unfortunately, it's not as simple as a 3-step plan. Some places to start are with journaling or meditating. For some, prayer is a point of reflection. For others, it's going on a hike on an underutilized trail without the noise of headphones. For me, it's having what some might consider tough conversations with the people that I meet. Hearing the stories of others gives me a perspective outside myself that I could have never otherwise gained. And when we really go deep with a conversation, it inevitably pushes me to evaluate my beliefs, opinions, values, and the assumptions underlying them. So, to find a method that serves as a great point of reflection for you, you'll likely try things that don't quite work for you, and that's okay. But to get you started, I want to pose just one question. If you were to place a large mirror in front of your life as it currently stands today, one that stretches from one horizon all the way to the other as a point of reflection, what do you notice? You all have a great weekend, and we'll catch up next week to discuss how to dig deeper into your reflection. Mwah.